countdown is officially on. Oh my gosh, until like the wedding and being married and all of that. Funnily enough, on the day that I'm filming this, I actually have my first meeting with the planners. So yes, the ball is rolling and it finally sort of feels real. And so I thought in this video I had my first bridal wedding dress appointment. Bridal wedding dress, saying two of the same thing. At Vivienne Westwood. This is by no means like the first and last I'll talk to you about that whole thing. And I just wanted to sort of talk about the dresses that I didn't choose and why, my experience in general, and just sort of my thoughts around it, because I ended up feeling things that I didn't expect to feel during the appointment, and I just thought that it would be interesting to share. So I'd pretty much thought that I knew exactly what I wanted, right? Within 24 hours of getting engaged, I'd already reached out to the designer that I thought, / still in the running, would want to do my dress and how that process would work and all of that. But I also didn't want to rob myself of the process, because you hear people say, I tried on a dress that I never thought I would like and it was the one, and when you know, and blah, blah, blah. So I was like, okay, I still need to give myself this experience. I'm not going to rob myself of it because I think I know what I want. So I scheduled an appointment at Vivienne Westwood Bridal in London, because I know they have a bridal boutique there. I also think that they have one in New York and a couple of other places, but I was like, while I'm there, let me just, do it, whatever. Figure out what the process is, how long does it take, and all of this, right? And I have, I think, 4 booked here, all by sort of mid-November. So I'm very much sort of trying to keep an open mind and trying not to be too married to the first thing that I see that I think I like, because I want to make sure I've seen all options and then I decide. Guys, if you're new here, my name is Cassie and I'm a self-diagnosed luxury addict. I put out videos on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays, so if you like luxury fashion, then you're probably going to love it here. So head on there, subscribe, turn on the bell, become a member of our luxury addicted family. When are we going to rehab? Never. And I also have a podcast, so go have a listen. Let me talk you through the experience. It was actually really quite relaxed. So and Vivienne Westwood did not have the highest sort of deposit for an appointment. So a lot of bridal appointments do require a deposit. I don't know, I guess it's to sort of curb people wandering in on a Saturday afternoon and go, oh my gosh, should we try on wedding dresses? One's in the US are ranging between $50 to $100 for the appointment, and then I think it gets taken off the dress if you pursue getting a dress from them. Vivienne Westwood was £35. It was £35, and again, I've also heard other bridal boutiques in the UK are like 50, 60, whatever. So it was on the sort of cheaper end of securing an appointment, but generally it was very chilled. There was, I wasn't told, like, you can't film, you can't take photos, which I know on the booking forms of some of the others, it's like, you can take photos but don't post them on social media. Other ones I've heard, you're not allowed to take photos in general, which I think is a bit stupid, because how do you expect me to remember? Okay, the average person is going to try on a load of dresses. How do you expect me to remember how I looked in that, so-and-so meringue 3-tiered monstrosity that you put me in? So I think that's a bit stupid, but whatever. There was none of that. And when it comes to Vivienne Westwood, they have 2 ways of doing bridal. They have the made-to-measure and they have couture. Made-to-measure is they have their X number of bridal dresses for this season. You can choose, you try on whatever dress you want. You can have it altered to you. You can also change aspects of it. So, for example, if you like the top of one but the skirt of another, you can have that changed for an extra fee. You can have the colour changed for an extra fee. So there is quite a lot of customisation that can go into it, but generally you're working off, X number of styles that are for the season. Then you have couture. Couture is end-to-end whatever you want. They will create and spin it out of thin air and do magic for you. Now, in terms of pricing, the made-to-measure ranges from, I think, £3,000 to £10,000. I think maybe just over like 12, something like that. Couture, I believe, starts at £25,000. I know. Yeah, so bridal dresses as well. I mean, the range is extremely wide, as it is with fashion, full stop. But yes, side note, don't ask me why, but I decided to email Atelier Versace Bridal to be like, how does the process work? What sort of prices do you start at? If you thought Vivienne Westwood Couture was bad, they start at €120,000. Absolutely not. I literally read the email and I was like, is the comma in the wrong place there? 12? No, that's the right number of zeros for that to be 6 figures. So don't expect to see me in a Versace bridal dress. All right, just managing expectations. But I actually assumed that the turnaround time for quite a few of these things would be a lot longer than they are, especially because, you know, friends that have recently gotten married were like, oh my gosh, you have to start looking like at least 10 months before and all of this. For Vivienne Westwood Couture, which is, that turnaround time is 5 months, and I think for made to order it's around that as well. So there's, you know, you can take your time a little bit. I mean, at this stage, I'm, you know, about a year out, whatever. Anyway, moving on. Let's start off with the Galaxy Cape. This is obviously sleeveless, and you know I don't really do strapless, sleeveless situations. This is a strapless, Kathy, get it right. You know I don't usually do strapless situations because I feel very exposed. But, you know, this is the time to try something else, you never know. And it sort of has this cape / train that comes from the back of the corset and goes down, and then the skirt is very sort of draped, right? By the way, Vivienne Westwood corsets full stop. Sod off to any other waist trainer. This is going to keep you in. You are like, it's not uncomfortable. I will say that. It's not uncomfortable, but you are, and the titties are right up, okay? So if you want a corset, Vivienne Westwood Bridal is your one-stop shop, all right? I thought that it was pretty. It secured the fact that I did not want strapless at all. It really, I hated it. I hated all of this being out. I don't know why, it's just a weird thing I've got, right? They also do this one with like a crystal sort of trim at the top. Fine, but that one was a very like, no thank you situation. That one was a very quick, no thanks. Then we move on to the Eclipse. So this is you know, obviously a wedding dress version of a mini dress style that they do that I want to say is called the Ivana, something like that. Very nice style, very much like it. Anyway, so you sort of have this little, again, corset, drop sleeve situation, and then the skirt has a slit. And again, you can tailor this to you if you want the slit to be higher, you can have it. If you want it to be shorter, all of that. Has a bit of a train, fine. Again, I was like, this is a nice dress. I don't know. It wasn't really doing too much for me, I guess. And also because I think I've seen it in a mini dress style, it felt like, okay, this is like, you know, this is a wedding dress. We can amp it up a bit more. Then we move on to the Nova Cora. This is a beautiful dress. It is their most popular bridal dress, and you can see why, because it's stunning. The corset, again, is phenomenal. All of this beautiful satin draping and everything else, and again, the drop shoulder. It's fantastic. It has been ruled out for a number of reasons. Number one being, my friend is getting married, and I'm pretty sure that, like, my close friend is getting married, I'm pretty sure that this is the one she's gone for, and I don't tread on people's toes like that, so this is out. But also, this is the one that I started to feel really weird, because there's levels that you can do with this dress. So for example, you can have it as it is, you can have this added skirt that gives sort of bump and the pomp and ceremony and the sort of princess aspect of it, and you know, it just adds a load of like fabric and you know, a level of extravagance onto the dress. And then you have the veil, and I looked at myself in the mirror and I really had this moment of like, I hate it. Like, not because I don't like the dress, but because it felt, and I don't have the right words to explain it, but it felt too bridal. And I know I'm getting married, and I know I'm going to be in a white dress, but the amount of it just being like stark white satin on me felt too grown up. And again, I don't even think grown up is the right terms, because I can't sort of word what I really, you know, feel, but it was like, it just felt not like me at all. And I had this really weird moment of like, am I going to have to be in a dress that doesn't feel like me because it's what is a wedding dress, you know? And I just sort of had this moment where I was like really having to not cry. and it's weird, and I sort of felt like, aren't I supposed to be crying because it's like beautiful or whatever? And I just had this really weird moment of like, I'm going to have to end up in a dress that I don't want to be in because it's what is a wedding dress and all of that. But don't worry, it's not the end of the world, we'll get to it. But the other thing though that I did try on with this dress that I thought was a cool idea, and again, it's not me, but if you are going to go for something that's a little bit more of a simple dress, but you want a little bit of pizzazz, the veil is where you can have a lot of fun. So I tried on this really amazing veil that had all of these, you know, Vivienne Westwood drawings, and it had like little birds and hearts and whatever and script on it, and it was really pretty, and I thought, oh, that's a really amazing way of sort of giving a bit of edge and a bit of pizzazz and a little bit of spark of something if you want to do a really classic look but you want to have like a little bit of fun with it. So I thought that was a good idea. And then we have the Nebula. This is the most expensive made to order wedding dress they do. And again, this was one that I walked out and I was like, that is so on me. That is so not me in the slightest. And yeah, that one was an easy no. The other one, very quickly to touch on, is that they do the Nova Cora style in a mini dress, in all sort of sparkles, and that one was awful. Like, I don't know, it was like giving like a clubbing dress, but not in a nice way. I walked out and it was an absolute no. I don't know what was going on there. I also didn't put my arms through the armholes, but it was not good. I hated that in it so much. I did try on one couture dress that I loved. I can't show you it because I don't even think I was really allowed to try it on because the made to measure and the couture appointments are two different teams, and there just happened to be one there, and I was like, oh, this would be fun to try on, like, let me have a look. And they had to like get permission for it and blah blah blah, and I tried it on and I was like, I really wanted to hate it. I really wanted to hate it because it was £31,000, and that is an extortionate amount. That's a car. You know, that's a lot of money, and I really, really wanted to hate it, and I really didn't. But anyway, what did I learn? So I did try on a dress that I did like for an event around the wedding. It's not going to be the dress, but they can, like I said, they can do it different colours. They can, you know, do tweaks to it if you need things to be a little bit longer. Even if, so for one of the dresses, it was perfect on top and a bit tight on the bottom, they can do it one size up in the bottom and whatever. You know, so there's a lot of customization that can be done. So I've definitely found an event dress. But what I did realise is, while I was there having my, like, internal breakdown, was I want something that is not plain satin. Like, whether it is lace or embellishment or something, there has to be that aspect, because that feels like me. The stark white satin was like... And the thing is that I've never felt that way about clothes, and that was the weirdest thing. I've obviously tried on clothes before that have made me feel uncomfortable, but not like that. That one was like a really visceral, oh my gosh, the thing that is looking back at me in the mirror, I want to get out of this so badly. And I wasn't expecting to feel that way, so that was a bit of a spanner in the works, but it did make me realise that, okay, we have to go down the route of embellishment or lace or something that's got that aspect to it, because you have to feel comfortable, you have to feel your most fabulous self, and it has to be you. So this is the beginning of the journey, obviously. Like I said, I've got appointments over the next couple of months. I will keep you updated. I think I'm going to do a follow-up video after I've done all of those, so that we can go through all at once. But I thought, you know, it's Viv, it's special, she's got to have her own video, you know. And I did want to have a level of Viv involved in the wedding. But I also thought that a Vivienne Westwood wedding dress was very on brand for me, but maybe a little bit too obvious. And you know I like to keep you on your toes. You know I like to just, you know, be a bit unexpected. So maybe not for the big day, but we'll see. We'll see. Let me know what you thought of those. I'm going to leave a link to another video over here in case you haven't already seen it. Have an amazing morning, afternoon or evening wherever you are. And in the words of my father,
if you've enjoyed it, tell your friends. If you haven't, keep your mouth shut.
I will see you in my next video. Mwah. Bye guys.